AI isn't just optimizing our vehicles, it's transforming them into intelligent teammates.
From AgriPoints, this is Intelligence Everywhere. I'm James Kotecki. My guest today is Jay Iyengar, EVP, Chief Technology and Strategic Sourcing Officer at Oshkosh Corporation, makers of vehicles and equipment for firefighting, garbage collecting, aviation ground support, and much more. Jay, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you for having me.
You say that through AI, vehicles are not just going to become smarter, they're going to become like intelligent teammates. What do you mean by that, and what are some examples?
We are trying to create that relationship between the person operating the vehicles and the vehicles themselves, making it easier to use, making it intuitive, and making it safer. We are cutting short on the driver fatigue, the time it takes to do a specific task, and overall make the whole industry attractive and make it more productive. We don't look at AI as to add something to the vehicle. It is about good relationship between the man and the machine, if I can say that. So
Sure.
building that seamless connection so that the vehicles themselves become they use the term teammates, work very collaboratively with the human in the vehicle.
For the vehicle operators themselves, is there a specific example of something that really surprises that person about what the vehicle is capable of?
We use the term moments of autonomy. People use the term autonomy. The first thing they think of is autonomous driverless vehicles that you see in automotive. That is not the biggest value add in our industries where people are involved in doing work, right? Let's say your mail truck or a delivery vehicle that goes from a house to a house to a house, turns around tight corners. It needs to stop every 100 feet because the next mailbox comes in. That's a lot of start, stop, cognitive, physical load on the driver. It's a driver fatigue doing that. We can automate parts of that. What I mean is the autonomous driving can take place. It can identify you deliver the mail or picked up the mail. It can actually go in and say, I'm going to keep driving until I see the next mailbox and then I'll stop there. People don't think of it that way. People think of it as autonomous driving is I'm just going to drive autonomously.
Yeah.
So the fact that a technology like this can safely give you the control, it's not taking away control from the human, but actually augmenting what they do. The drivers are often surprised by, oh, you could do that? I did not know that. And then we also look at some predictive maintenance, particularly for our field operators, where we can tell them that, this is wearing out, or this part would need to be replaced by this time. This particular vehicle could have this issue, so we can proactively provide you a replacement part ready to go.
You're using the term teammates. That kind of implies a certain amount of personification and maybe a mindset shift in terms of what the vehicles can actually do.
In our view, the AI technology will make it easier for people to use. Today's vehicles that have to operate multiple things, joysticks and other things for the certain operation of, let's say, the refuse collection arm. There's a lot of demand, a cognitive demand on them. What we're trying to do is make it simpler to use once they get in the vehicle. They don't need to go through a very detailed training of how to operate a joystick, which they do today. By the way, sometimes it takes 6 months for somebody to be really, really good at certain parts of their job. It's not about the technology. It's about how intuitive, how simple it is. If at the push of a button, the vehicle identifies the garbage can by the curbside, knows where it is, and then actually deploys the arm automatically. And then, while it's doing that, it actually identifies what's in that refuse, bin. When we've deployed these technologies, and when the operators of the vehicles have gotten in our vehicles, they actually say, I don't know how they could do without it. So to me, that's the measure of success. When somebody says, I didn't know I really needed this. This is fantastic. It's going to save me so much time.
And what's the cutting edge? Where's the line of what you're capable of doing right now?
The cutting edge is about making the systems very robust. It is easy to develop technology theoretically, but it is a lot of work to make sure that in the real world use cases, that it's designed to work 100% of the time very robustly in that particular application. Maybe you didn't anticipate the various scenarios that could be there or various types of use cases that happens once a vehicle is deployed. So we spend a lot of effort and time on real world testing before we go into mass scale production. Let me talk an example of our jet bridge, autonomous jet bridge. I'm sure many times you've been stuck on an aircraft because the jet bridge wasn't
Sure.
deployed or the operator wasn't there to do that. They're waiting for somebody to come and do the gate operator wasn't there. And that's a very complex operation. It has to come exactly line up with the door. And there are multiple types of aircraft that come to a particular gate. Depending on depending on what flights come into that particular gate. Does the technology know where the door is? Depending on the size of the aircraft, depending on the varieties of the aircraft, can it identify a door? And then can it line itself up? I'm humbled many times when you think you know, you really don't know until you actually have a customer use those vehicles. Delta Airlines was a good example of one of our partners allowed us to deploy the technology in several gates. And that's what we did in the case of an autonomous jet bridge.
I want to give you the final word here. What do you need or what do you want to happen to be able to continue to move forward in your work? Do you need policy change? Do you need people to be educated in a certain way? Do you need people to have a mindset shift about what actually is possible?
Most important thing to think about is technology is there to increase productivity. It brings concrete business value. It brings concrete productivity. It is not just technology because technology is really cool. For us as an OEM and for our direct customers, it has a tremendous value for their operations, right? They can think of how they do their operations differently, where they deploy their personnel, what type of training they provide. Technology is, it is something that brings concrete financial and a business value to our customers, but they need to look at their financial models with a total cost of ownership perspective. That makes a big difference. It's not about one vehicle, one time. It is all about the entire operations, what it takes to keep that vehicle running for the next 20 years. Just being open and thinking through that in a different lens is going to go a long way for us to transform our end markets overall.
And then the world would look very different, I think, with all of this. So you would have operators who were maybe operating with more clarity, or maybe if there was a labor issue, you could get more people trained on this stuff faster, and hopefully, fewer accidents, and the world will move forward because of that.
Absolutely. Well said. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jay Iyengar, Oshkosh Corporation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, James. Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment to tell us what you're working on and tell those algorithms that you want more intelligent everywhere. I'm James Kotecki. Let's get out there.